TEMA Talk is a BS-free zone with smart, funny and educational conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners sharing their stories and insights designed to help you succeed. The result is a video vault of wisdom, strategies and tactics on how to grow your business by increasing revenue, reducing costs and amplifying your market share. Welcome to TEMA Talk, the B2B show created to help entrepreneurs and CEOs succeed. Here is your host, business growth architect and founder of TEMA, Carl M. Gibbons.
Hi everybody and welcome again. Our guest today, I don't think she'll mind if I describe her as slight in stature, but believe me, she's a giant in her heart and her vision and her mission. Karen Conley is the founder and CEO of Charity for Change, a non-profit organisation on a mission to teach character traits and the spirit of giving to pre-K and 5th grade children through its academic platform. And it now serves 10,000 students in 3 states. Karen's prior experience, she included the founding of the Naples Therapeutic Riding Centre. She was on the board of directors of Senior Friendship Centres, the Grants Committee of the Community Foundation of Collier County, and the Champions for Learning. She's a 2002 graduate of the Greater Naples Leadership Masters Programme. And she was a recipient, that's easy for you to say when you've got teeth like mine. She was a recipient of the Jefferson Award for Public Service, and Florida Weekly named her a Power Woman of the area. And she also received a Woman of Achievement from the Association of the University Women. So with all that being said, me putting back in my false teeth, Karen, welcome to TEMA Talk.
Thank you, Carl. It is so fantastic to be here. It's great to see you, and I'm really excited about sharing with your listeners.
Excellent, excellent. And viewers now, of course, we not only do they hear now, they see. So it gets scarier by the minute.
I know that's for sure.
Give everybody the 10-cent tour. So what is Charity for Change? Why does it exist? Why is it important? What does it do and how does it do it? Your time starts now.
You got it. Well, thank you, Carl. The Charity for Change program was founded, as you said, to teach character and the giving spirit to children. And the result of that is really to empower children to achieve their highest potential. And we see the more and the longer that we're doing this and the more children we see, that really it is an inside job. It starts with how they feel about themselves. And that starts with basically 4 areas: to first teach and learn character or core values, another way to say it in business. Also to show gratitude. And also we encourage and teach the spirit of giving, and that giving isn't just about money, that giving is giving from your heart, and that really it's about being kind to each other and being a community.
Right. So it's a fantastic mission. I love it. I always have done, you know that. A lot of people would say, well, 2 things, Karen. All of this, A, should start in the home. Isn't it the role of parents to teach kids those core values? And even if it isn't at the home, shouldn't it also be, if you like, a part of our education program anyway? Why does it need a separate, dedicated program like Charity for Change?
I think over time, there's been an evolution in business and in education that really has evolved away from teaching those core values. And that's not to be on a negative in terms of education or educators by any means, because they work tirelessly for the success of our kids. But through this evolution over time, we've seen a drifting away of character education and the sense of community and being a part of giving. And particularly when students are at risk or from a low socioeconomic area. And so they may not be growing up with a sense of they can help someone. They may be on a receiving end. And we teach the empowerment and what really comes in self-esteem by giving and helping others. So really, it's essential in terms of young children and in their education, and particularly before 6th grade, that we give them that roadmap, to give them the tools to help them learn to be successful, not only in school, but also in life.
Right. How does the actual program work? What are the mechanics?
The how-to is, it's a 36-week curriculum integrated into math and language arts. The way it looks in the school, in the classroom, is the teacher on a computer logs on to our website and then projects our website onto a whiteboard or the wall.
Right.
She then, or he then, will go through our curriculum. The first element would be that they would select a charity that they want to help. Ultimately, what they're doing by completing the curriculum is earning money from Charity for Change to give to a charity that they pick. Throughout that curriculum, there's reference to that charity and how to help others. They then will go in, set a goal, answer math questions, and integrated into that math is also all about the charity and all about the character trait for that particular month. And it's real world examples. So there's not only just a definition of what the words mean, but it's also giving them modeling through our animated characters and helping them to learn by watching others. And when I say animated characters, we have 2 mascots that throughout the curriculum encourage the students. Giver is an orangutan and his sidekick is Toucan.
And is that Giver peering over your shoulder in the background there?
That is Giver. That is Giver. Yeah, that's the plush form of Giver. But on the website, the kids see him as an animated character that interacts with them and congratulates them when they're successful. And then ultimately, the charity will come in and talk with the students about what the charity does. And at the end of every 6 weeks, Charity for Change will then write a check to the charity that the students have selected. Then the charity will write a thank you letter back to the students.
Okay, so the students pick the charity.
Correct.
Their efforts, their successes are directly rewarded by a donation by Charity for Change to that particular charity.
Exactly.
So the kids themselves actually don't raise money or touch money or you know, do they have to go home and say to mom and dad, oh, you know, give me $10 to give to Giver? You know, it doesn't work.
Well, that's a really good point. We do have both in-school, after-school, and summer school. Okay. And in our in-school program, the children actually do give change and hold many fundraisers.
Right.
We heard very strongly from educators in the beginning that most of our students who are on a free or reduced lunch don't have change to give.
Right.
And we have really been just overwhelmed with joy to see that what really happens is they do find ways, and we teach that every penny matters. And the children in this program have raised nearly $140,000 by bringing in their pennies and nickels and dimes. So it really does give them that ability to participate in something outside themselves that is helping someone else.
How was the program greeted by the educators? Because we all know teachers, they're under a phenomenal amount of pressure. More and more seems to be expected of them continually. They're under pressure to perform in terms of their students' grades. They're under pressure to offer more and more classes across the board. So as an outsider going into a school, what was the reaction from academia? Because we'll get on
That's
to
a great-
talk about the kids later. Let's talk about academia first.
Yes, well, that's a really, really good point, because I think in the education world, educators are doing their best to serve the kids and help them be their best. And so what follows that is tried and true over time, and the measurement over time. And so something that's not that character education is new, it's not, but our particular program is new. And so we were very fortunate because we had relationships with educators to actually develop it with them and work together to develop it. So that in the beginning, we fully understood there is no time in the classroom. Teachers don't need another thing to do. And so we built it so that it would not only supply them with math and language arts that they must have, but that we would follow standards and follow the curriculum map. So we're supporting what they're doing by teaching character in a generous spirit. So really that was probably the biggest roadblock to overcome in the beginning, was really, how do we do this during the day? This sounds nice, Karen, and I got a lot of those, but I don't have time.
Right.
And what we did was figure out a way to make it so that they could find the time, because it's doing what they need to do.
Right. So what about the kiddos? How did they respond to it? What was it? Because it was, oh, not another class, right? Or, I mean, what was their reaction?
Well, I think the kids, their reaction is to the mascots. They are all about Giver and You Too Can. And to the kids, Giver is their superhero as well as You Too Can. But really, that's what makes it fun for them and engaging. And I can best describe that by describing the first time that we did an assembly in one of the schools. And during that first year, we didn't really know, because we're not physically in the classroom, we didn't really know, other than what the teachers told us, how the kids were reacting.
Right. Right.
So that first time in front of an audience of 400 children, and we brought that mascot Giver out in a costume, it was literally, Naples Daily News said it was like being at a rock concert. They were just beside themselves, screaming and so happy to see him. And they wanted to meet him. They wanted to come up on stage. And at that moment, I knew that what we had for the kids was something that was going to be successful, because they couldn't get enough of him. And it's still all about Giver. Giver is the hero.
Right. Right. We're now, Charity for Change is now 10,000 students, 3 states. I don't know how many education establishments that represents, but what was the tipping point? You said a few moments ago that you knew that when the reaction to Giver from the kids, he suddenly reached this sort of Mickey Mouse rock star god status. And they all went crazy. But at what point did Karen know that this program, it was going to be on the track that it's on now? What was the moment? What was the school? What was the event? What was the one where, right, yep, we know we've got this right. We know this is going to be a success. And as a direct result of this, all sorts of things started happening. The game changed.
Yes. I think we've had 2 tipping points, one very recent, but the first tipping point was really understanding that we could move into an after school and a summer school environment very easily. And what that means is, in the daytime in education, it's very challenging to get into the system, even though it might be a good program and is providing support. It was very slow, and we did move forward, but not fast enough. There are 25 million elementary school children in the country, and we wanted to reach everyone. So we knew we had to do something different. Went to a conference. At that conference for after school, we found people falling in love with the program because it gave them content, not only math and language arts, but it gave them what we now call in social emotional learning. It gave not only math, language arts, it taught children about their emotions and how to handle and manage their emotions. And so we provided something that they needed. Another part of that was that there is funding in after school from the 21st Century Community Learning Centers, and that makes it so that Title I schools have access to programs to support the success of their kids. And so that was really the beginning of moving outside the local area and outside into an after-school environment. Right now we're in 32 schools in Palm Beach County, and they are doing our curriculum 5 days a week for an hour a day. And so for us, that opened up a different track. And the fact that we are online and very scalable makes it so that we could be anywhere.
Right.
I think the next and possibly the most important tipping point was really the beginning of the pandemic, and more recently the tragedy with George Floyd, and seeing the importance of teaching children tools, first with the pandemic, to see whole new ball game. Now kids are at home, parents are struggling to get everything done. School systems are working hard to try to make it all work and reach students the best that we can. And what's important during that is that the things that Charity for Change battles, isolation, disengagement, low self-esteem, now we're being fueled by isolation, disengagement.
Right.
And we know what the fruit of that is. The fruit of that is bullying and the negative behaviors. And so what we saw going into the pandemic, we felt we need to do something urgently. And so we created a whole new curriculum around Giver TV. And Giver TV is a video presentation which brings together our entire curriculum in a mini 10-minute video, and then supports the full curriculum. So that has enabled us to move outside of the classroom and into a YouTube series.
Right.
And then I think the next tipping point, and seeing now what's happening in the world, sadly, is generations of being oppressed and fear and those negative emotions and actions. And what we battle is we want to bring self-esteem to children. We want to plant a seed that gives children the confidence within themselves to be successful and to see equality, and to treat each other with respect, and to learn to really care about each other and about the world. And ultimately, the goal of this program is empathy, to really bring in that heart into our children through education, so that we have compassion and empathy for each other, and we can learn to be tolerant. And it's such a, I mean, it's a dramatic thing to think about, but if we look at the world and what's happening now, we're all trying to figure it out. We all want to know what to do. Our view is we go to the seed, go back to what are our children, where are they planted? Are we fueling them with positive character, or are we fueling them with the negative influences in the world?
Right.
And so, I mean, those are really, I think, Charity for Change is going to see a whole new 10 years ahead from a response to what's happening in the world.
So you see as well, its future direction is very much more now going should we say, internet-based as opposed to classroom-based. So it can access anybody as long as they've got access to the internet. They've got access to Charity for Change, whether it be the child receiving the program, or whether it be the teacher, or whether it be donors, or whoever it is. It's definitely going online, as it were.
Yes.
Excuse me.
And I think, Carl, that in stages, the first stage is Giver TV. The first stage is a video through YouTube that parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, big brother, big sister can go on with the child and actually watch the video and then do the activities.
Right.
An example of that might be in one of our episodes on self-control, we had as our gratitude portion, the children make a gratitude tree. And so that's something that parents and or family members can do with their children at home and make something that helps them remember the good things and the positive things in their world right now. And so that is really intended to bring in family and others. And then as we develop this, the curriculum will be adapted so that ultimately children will be able to go in and participate without support. So that, I think, we're in the first phase right now.
Right. Now, you don't go from idea to 10,000 students in 3 states with Karen, with I don't care how big your heart is and how strong you are. You've got to have a team with you, right?
Major.
So what does that look like? What does that look like? You know, when you first started, it was just you and the vision and the idea and the big heart and the motivation. And where is it now?
Yes, in the beginning, really it was an idea and doing some research for about 2 years, really, and working with focus groups. But quickly, it is more than one person can do. And with a board of directors, and right now, and we have always had an incredible board of directors that give their time and their talent and their treasure to really further the mission. And we wouldn't be anywhere without our board and without that energy. It really brings the community in. And then in terms of our office, we're a staff of 2 right now, with Peg O'Kane is our director of operations, and she really makes things sing. So she has the technical expertise as well as just the program, and really makes all of the operations hum. And then it also takes, we have a team of consultants with marketing and with educators that help us in developing not only the educational content, but also developing our presence within the community. And so it really does take a team to make something that is this complex and this vast get to the stage that it is right now.
Right. It takes a team. It also takes money. Hey, we can't get away from it. It might be called Charity for Change, but it takes a whole bunch of change to make it happen, right? So now, the last few months, we've had the COVID-19 scenario. Everybody's been either encouraged to stay at home, in some cases forced to stay at home. Offices had to start working from home. That must have put a real stress, maybe even a spanner in the works in your fundraising. How have you coped with that? And what's your fundraising going to look like going forward? Has that model changed?
Yes, I think the world is changing. We had a fundraiser plan for March 31st, which we canceled. And we have a gala that is scheduled for October, which we are now retooling and going to do that gala as a virtual gala in August. So we've had our major fundraisers just completely canceled. And also, I think on the positive side, we saw an outreach by the Community Foundation here in Collier County, as well as the Community Foundation of Southwest Florida. And the leadership there and their ability to reach out and let us know that they're here for us, we're in this together, that really was saving for us, because it helped us to stay connected. And I think that going forward, our fundraising is going to look completely different. I don't know when galas will return, but I know that not in the near future. And so for us, we've had to realign, looking at our grants. How do we pump up our grants, and how do we develop those relationships? Look at our donors who have been supporting us for years, many since the very beginning, and really communicate what we're doing and how we're changing so that they're aware. And then looking forward, developing virtual events to adapt to what the world is. And I think the key is going to be to stay flexible and communicate. And it's challenging to not be able to meet people.
Right.
And in our business, that's really what it is, and part of it. And it makes it much more challenging to effectively communicate when you're communicating across the wire.
Right, right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've learned a lot about Charity for Change. Let's find out a little bit about Karen. Let's find out what makes Karen tick. And this is the bit where all my guests normally go, oh, not this bit, right? Okay. So I've got Carl's 35 questions in front of him.
Oh boy.
And I'm just going to randomly pick a few. If you don't want to answer, fine. We just quick one-word answers, or whatever the first thing that comes into your head. You right?
Okay.
Best bit of business advice you've ever been given?
The best business advice?
Yeah.
Delegate.
Okay. How does Karen work through the feelings of self-doubt or the imposter syndrome? You know, when that little thing sits on your shoulder and goes, you don't want to do that, Karen. How do you work through that?
I know that well. Affirm and pray.
Okay. All right. What book are you currently reading or listening to?
Right now I'm reading a book on positive leadership.
Okay. All right. Can you remember the author?
You know, I can't, but I have.
What's Karen's most marked characteristic?
Kindness.
All right. When Karen wants to get herself all pumped up and hyped, what's the tune or the song she listens to?
I can do this.
Okay. If you weren't the CEO of Charity for Change and you could be anything else, what would you like to do? Another career, what would it be?
I can't imagine, but it would be training a horse.
Okay. What's Karen's greatest extravagance? What's that treat that it's just, I know it's naughty, I know, but hey, I don't care.
Well, I got to say right now, it is Sunday afternoons off.
Wow, that's an easy fix, right? Which living person do you most admire?
Which, can you say that again?
Which living person do you most admire?
I have to say Oprah Winfrey.
Okay. All right. Favorite hero of fiction?
Maybe Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. What's Karen's idea of heaven?
Today.
That's a brilliant answer. Does Karen like to be in control or in charge, and why? Ooh.
Great question. In charge, for sure. In control is way too stressful.
Okay, that's good. I like that perspective. All right. Favorite drink?
Oh, you're gonna go goofy. Ice cold water with the lime. I know.
Back to the tap, right? All roads lead back to the tap. Okay, this is the last one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Who do you want to watch this program? Anybody. Prince, pauper, potentate, rich man, beggar man, poor man, thief, it doesn't matter. Who is it that you want to see this program and for them to say, get me Karen Conley on the phone. I need to talk to this woman. I want to connect with this woman. Who is it?
Oprah.
You heard Oprah.
Straight
afterwards, phone her. It'll be great. She'll love you. You'll love her. Do it. See, I fixed it.
Thanks, Carl.
How easy was that, right?
That was good.
Oprah's got to know how to get hold of you. So if Oprah or anybody else wants to get hold of Karen Conley or wants to find out more about Charity for Change, how do they do that?
charityforchange.org, or email me anytime, Karen Conley at charityforchange.org.
That's it.
That's it.
Another 30 minutes of business banter and badinage has just flown by. Thanks to our guest, Karen Conley, CEO and founder of Charity for Change. I want to thank the team at Guerrilla Media for twiddling all their knobs and doing whatever it is they do to work their magic to make all of this happen. But most importantly, I want to thank you for watching. And don't forget, please visit TEMA's video vault of wisdom at thirdeyemanagement.com, where we share all the other TEMA talks. And there are episodes there with endless and seamless strategies and tactics for you to grow your business. So until the next time that we meet, I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay in touch, but most importantly, I want you to stay profitable. And with that, from me and Karen, we are out.